down.
Yeah, it'll probably be nice and easy because I know he was your teammate on the 2v2 mystery as
Oh,
well.
don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. Yeah. Yeah, me
But
and him are...
looks like they're going right away.
Oh, fantastic. Let's get this going. And believe it or not, this is actually a mode that we're doing in this tournament. I'm familiar with it, but I've never played it. And we're doing the standard start, but with a randomized weapon. Maybe you can give me a little bit more insight on how this works.
Yeah, so basically Uncle can have any weapon that would technically allow them to get through the sewers, so that he still could potentially have a sword, but you could see the bow, bombs, fire rod, cane of Burna, cane of Samaria. I think that's it. I might have, or hammer. That's the one I missed.
Okay.
Which there's the Burna.
Yeah, it's a pretty good one to get at the start there. It really not too difficult. I think bomb is the one that everyone really worries about because it can be a little tricky timing those bombs right. And you got to hit that silly little rat in the dark in the back of the sewers just to get that one key.
Yeah, the rat is probably the hardest part of bombs. Burna is, I would say, probably the second hardest, just because it can use a lot of magic. It's without half magic, it can kind of sneak up on you with how much magic. I know earlier that I did a commentary on another race. Actually, both of them ended up having to do a save and quit to get some magic back because they ran out of magic in sewers.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I guess if you were maybe a little too greedy trying to be a little overzealous and farm those bombs so you could check those 3 chests, no one really wants to double back, and escape when you can do it on the way. They got really lucky, though, getting an early 3 bombs, though, so that should make things a little nicer for them.
Yeah, and they also got a boomerang, so that could help in sewers, too, in case something happens to magic.
Yeah, that would work. I don't know if the boomerang would kill a rat, though. I think they just stun them, right?
I'm not sure. I think it might. I know I'm remembering from the original Legend of Zelda, I believe you could kill them.
Huh. Yeah, well, maybe if they run out of magic, we'll find out.
If they're running low on magic, though, it might be a thing to just stun them and then hit them with Burna to be safe.
Yeah, instead of having to chase them down. That makes sense.
Because, like we see, Mr. Johnny's already low on magic. He'll still be able to kill the guard and get Zelda because he's have those pots down there.
Yeah, but he's gonna have to kill that rat. And again, he doesn't have enough magic to use his cane because it does kind of have a steep activation speed, whereas once it's running, it uses a little bit less. It's not just like a flat drain. That guard has just positioned himself in the worst spot there. Good thing he didn't lose this pot there. Hopefully Johnny doesn't either. He gets past it. They just got that small key from Zelda's chest that was either going to be in there or it was going to be in the sewer's chest. For them to get all the way through to the back of Escape, you have to get that one key. So it's got to be somewhere in these front 4 chests.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen the map yet either, so we'll see that soon.
Yeah, that's right. There's a map in here too. I've been playing so much Key Sanity, I forget about these things. And it's pretty much your standard opening sequence here. Kohrek has seemed to kind of edged out a little bit of an initial lead, mostly because there was a little bit of a mishap with Mr. Johnny's getting those pots to kill the guard, and he kind of had a little bit of a slower blue guard room, the second blue guard in the chest. And it cost him a lot of magic, too. I'm curious how he's going to get around this. There is a small magic refill on the left side. If you go get the chest on the right side, if you go to the left side, I think there's some small magic in one of those pots down there.
Yeah, I think there's actually like 4 or 5 small magic refills in this sewer, so if he knows about those, they've just got plenty of opportunity to get enough magic to kill that rat.
Wow, is there really that many? I never even considered that. You're making me want to pull up a map and look at all that stuff now. I'm really curious. I think that would probably be pretty good to know.
See if he knows about... No, if he did, he didn't know about the one in this room that you mentioned.
Yeah, I guess there are quite a few pots in that room. I don't think I've ever explored there. Never found a reason to. But I was never doing escape with just the can of Brian, so... even if he doesn't want to use the magic, he does have bombs that he can use to kill that rat.
This is true.
And that is exactly what he's going to do, and oh, he just moved at the last second.
Still got it, though.
Nice.
Good use of bombs, and the back sewers looks like it had blue mail and a mirror.
Alright, that's pretty nice for... That's like your ultimate safety package. Sometimes getting an early mail upgrade can be really annoying because you have to death warp all the time, but if you throw it with the mirror, you know, there's really no negatives to it at all.
And we got silvers as well.
Okay. So we have a very safe seed on our hands. That's what it's looking like so far.
I won't say that until I start seeing some hearts, though, because maybe it'll troll them with their health. Blue mail is nice and all, but that's still technically only 6 hearts. If you go to the Dark World, things are still going to hurt there.
Yeah, you're still going to be taking a harder damage from things. If you notice, too, since they got the blue mail, their hearts are also now blue. Actually, I'm just kidding. That's not a feature, but that would be really cool, wouldn't it? No, with the new update, you can actually change your hearts to 4 different colors, and they both just conveniently selected blue.
Okay, that's one of the last things I want to see early in the game.
Oh, the lamp? Yeah,
Yes.
You don't like that one?
After I can get to Dark World, then I'm completely okay with seeing the lamp.
Yeah, well, I mean, you gotta look on the positives here. If you're gonna be doing that AGA, it's at least gonna give you a sword. Well...
Speaking of swords...
Oh boy, yeah, I would say some AGA red flags might be going off, but you know, it's still pretty early here.
Now, if you're the runner, do you pray that you never see the cape or the master sword in the light world?
We gotta add lumberjack check from MrJohnnySpot. I just saw the bottom half of it, but that looked a lot like it was the magic powder, so that's a really interesting intangible there.
Got something else to keep in the back of their mind.
Unless they're forced to do AGA, then, you know, might as well just get it when you have the boots. So we'll be checking all these chests in Blindside here. Good old early 5 chests. Doesn't look like anything too important. I guess having the extra heart's not too bad.
Yeah, just a heart container and a couple heart pieces. And like the 10 bomb upgrade, I think, was in here as too.
Yeah. Those are pretty nice to pick up early. I've been shunned before for leaving those behind, but being able to hold like 15 bombs or 20 bombs opposed to 10 at the start can really, really save you a lot of headache later in the run. That's why Kakariko's kind of widely one of the more preferable places to start, because there's just all these chests in close proximity to each other, you know, 10 chests right next to each other. You might find something good. It's probably not a good idea to save this location for later. That's why you see everybody go here first.
Yeah, especially in standard, because you start at the sanctuary anyways.
Yeah.
$100 for literacy.
Nice. All right. Early book. I mean, if you wanted to be a little crazy, you know, I suppose if you never found any bombs and after you did escape, you could just save and quit and then go the south route and do the 50-50 bomb tree pool. Got a glove in the chicken house.
Yeah.
I mean, if desert is not boot locked, that would most certainly be completable right now with the book, glove, and lantern.
Yep, everything they need. So maybe the seed's pointing him to desert as well.
Just to get the Master Sword, right?
Yeah, just for the Master Sword. And then Pearl's going to be on the pyramid.
Kohrek was exercising his options to make his bombs more than 10. We got Crystal 5 at Eastern, and then it looked like Desert and Hera were both crystals. So 3 Light World crystals, that's always nice to see. They could also complete Hera as well.
Yeah, Hera would be completely within sequence too.
Would be kind of nice to go up there with either the hook shot or the hammer, just so you could hit up those high density chest locations on the way up there. But hey, you never know, that hammer or that hook shot just might be in Hera waiting for you to make the trip up there first.
Yeah, never know what you might find in Moldorm's basement.
I think I know what you're referring to there. So Kohrek is heading immediately over to the mini Moldorm cave before the dam. Makes me wonder if he's going to go mini Moldorm cave, dam, straight into desert, kind of orphaning the Ice Rod cave area. Or he might just be kind of cutting them in half altogether.
Well, there's a hook shot.
Oh boy. What a lovely seed. This new logic is something else. I like this. Got a bottle too.
Yeah,
So annoying.
sick kids on the table, but now you're gone from Kakariko, so usually you don't make your way there for a while.
He is going to the Ice Rod area, so I suppose he's just cutting it in half here. MrJohnnySpot opted to do the dam first. Looked like that was just $20 in the first chest, but you get another item from the drained water as well.
Just a soggy blue rupee.
It was a red rupee, but all the water probably turned it blue. It kind of devalues it.
Well, there's the pearl.
Wow. All right, so great job not skipping the Ice Rod cave. This seed, that would have been a little annoying to have to go back to. Oh my. Could you imagine not checking that location and then it's like, oh, do I do Aga or do I go check Ice Rod cave?
Yeah, because it's like if you've only got the one spot and you have everything for Aga, it's like Ice Rod or Aga. It's like, you're probably gonna have to go through there at that point. So you probably run Aga, and then it's not on the pyramid, so it's got to be elsewhere. Which at that point it's just Ice Rod.
And you're like, oops. I just wasted a lot of time. But the Pearl doesn't completely give them Dark World access yet. They're still either going to need to find a hammer or another glove. But they have a lot of stuff available to them right now.
Yeah, they got pretty all of Light World, Death Mountain. Desert's completely open unless it's boots locked, and then Eastern, actually all of Eastern except for Armos Knights is open.
You see where Johnny is going here? He did not take the time to go hit up that Ice Rod cave, and
No, but he did make the skip.
Going to be orphaning the Pearl, and it's not
there's
even
Dark World access.
Oh. All right, Kohrek is just finding all the hot spots right now. Wow.
Which is actually a huge find too, because that opens up Death Mountain all the way.
Oh yeah, and with the mirror, that makes it so much more convenient as well. Yeah, you can just go over here and just knock out everything in one go.
It's like Skull Woods is blue. We've got Thieves Town was green. Swamp was red.
Pod was our 6. So all the bow locked ones are 5 and 6. I don't think we'll see the bow from the Fat Fairy today.
I didn't see what was on the torch, but they can at least get to the last two chests.
I missed the torch as well. I was getting excited with all the other stuff going on.
Well, that's a big key, so it's not boots locked.
Interesting. Okay. So it might have still been, a good call to go over to this area. He kind of did run into the risk of just walking all the way desert, just kind of get bricked by not having the boots, but he'll be able to finish it at least.
More value on Death Mountain. There's a fire rod.
Oh, man. Are we in go mode? Nah, not quite, but man, it's starting to feel that way, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely with as many items as we're finding like that. Yeah, just a map on the torch.
Hmm. So he'll be able to clean out desert and get his crystal if he elects to do that.
And Landmo's gonna have the last item, so probably will clear it out then.
Yeah. It's quite the investment to come over here. It seems maybe irrational to leave Landmo until, I mean, you could wait till you had a more efficient way to do it, like kind of wishing maybe I had the bow right now because I could put these silvers to good use, or, maybe he had Kohrek's fire rod, but you're here, you might as well get it done.
Yeah, and it's a crystal, so you're gonna have to complete it at some point. Gonna get a turtle rock check, see what medallion they need. I
That's
saw
exa-
bombos.
Yeah, that's awesome too, because I mean, if we could just get a check on what's at the mire area, we'll know exactly what we need to finish this seed very early on. So I'm sure Johnny will be finishing up desert here. He knows about these hearts and these pots. That's always wise. Lammo with just a fighter sword is really kind of an obnoxious and long fight. Ooh. There's a master sword in Hookshot Cave. That's really good.
That is really good, because if he wants to check Hera out now, he can check the ether tablet while he's up here too.
Yeah, that's awesome. He could have checked it, but yeah, now he can just actually outright get the item. It's even better.
The fighter swords land mola. You don't see that too often on Randomizer anymore.
No. Using spin strats here, trying to get him down. It's just taking so many hits. Well, he's got one of them down. Kohrek cleaned up East Death Mountain. He'll be going up, probably to finish Hera and check his ether tablet.
And Spectacle Rock. I don't think he actually checked Spectacle Rock. He went right over to East Death Mountain first.
Yeah, that's true too. You're right about that.
Which, there's another sword.
Oh, another sword hanging up on Spectacle Rock. Wow. Yeah, Death Mountain was a pretty strong play, seems right now. Crazy to think, the difference between going to Desert first and Death Mountain first was, you want to do it with Fighter Sword, or do you want to do it with Tempered Sword and Fire Rod?
Yeah, I think I'll take the second option unless I'm just being terrible on myself. Well, one thing in the desert, at least we saw flippers.
Flippers in Agina's Cave, okay. That's probably, in a seed like this, MrJohnnySpot doesn't know it yet because he doesn't have a Dark World map check, but Kohrek knows that Swamp is indeed a Pindit. I wouldn't want to ever find those flippers, to be 100% honest.
No, because yeah, Ice Palace is easily accessible just using the fake flippers. So
Yeah. I mean, I guess they'd still have to logically be available for Ice Palace, but if you really wanted to hide them from me and nothing was in Swamp, I wouldn't be too upset about it. Tempered Sword takes quick care of those silly turtles.
yeah, just the one shot.
We've only found one item in Hera. Some nice bomb jump from Kohrek there.
There's the second item.
Okay. Would have been a shame, you know. He has the Cane of Burna. You could have found the hammer up here and then done Spike Cave, and then you would have just been like literally done with Death Mountain for the whole entire seed. But oh, he's gonna have to go find that hammer elsewhere. So nice, good old Troll Dorm fight here. Ooh, that was really close to falling off there. But he gets him down. Easy enough. One slash, one spin with the Tempered takes care of him.
Yeah, it looks like Johnny's kind of following close by. Is going to take care of the west side first. Nice placement for the Master Sword, though, because he can check the tablet now himself and get the item. It's just 20 rupees, but still.
Yeah, that was nice that he kind of allowed you to hedge whether you wanted to do West Death Mountain first or, you know, East Death Mountain first. You were going to get a sword either way to go ahead and check it. Of course, technically it wasn't worth anything, so it probably would have been quicker to not find the Master Sword and just read it and realize it was nothing, opposed to going through the Ether Tablet animation. But, you know, we're talking seconds here.
Looks like Kohrek's heading back into Kakariko's probably going to check the sick kid.
Yeah, you can do Sick Kid, and I mean, he's got a Fire Rod in hand. You got Pendant Thieves Town, which, you know, you're probably raising some eyebrows on. Do I really have to do that? You'd hate to be leaving something important behind, though, and just keep clearing out crystals, you know. Hopefully, you can play the seed. It gives you just everything you need along the way, and you can, you know, have a nice, easy win.
Yeah, that's true, but if you look at it with the exception of Swamp Palaces, we don't have the hammer. The other two pendant dungeons are completely accessible right now.
So Kohrek elected to use bomb jumps to save the screen transition. MrJohnnySpot, he's got a hook shot, he might as well. Just hook shot across. That looked like a Cane of Samaria in the chess game too, so we got that working. Another piece to the puzzle there. But we are going to need at least one, if not two medallions to finish this seed, and both runners haven't found any of them yet. Makes me wonder if that's going to be the last piece that they're looking for.
It's very possible we could have the ultimate troll. We've got the ice rod available that needs to be found.
Yeah, that filthy ice rod always likes to hide too.
Mr. Johnny had a really clean kill on Moldorm with the Master Sword.
Yeah, probably a little easier for him then. And probably really thankful that he didn't have to do that one with a fighter sword. That's really when that fight gets ugly. Master sword, fine. Hammer, fine. Anything else, fine. Fighter sword, reroll the seed. Let's try again. I do think Kohrek probably did want to escort the Smith, but he's being wise doing the dig game first because for some reason the dig game, he didn't have a group on for 2 people to come dig up his backyard. You can only do it with 1, so if anything's actually attached to you, he will not let you do it for some silly reason.
Probably thinks you're going to cheat and both people will dig.
I don't know. I still think that guy is just running a scam just to get you to clear out his backyard for him.
At least he lets you keep everything you find.
I mean, if, you know, wouldn't you? Hey, come clean out my garage. By the way, take all the stuff I don't need anymore. It's even better. It's 100% a scam. He's a swindler. Yeah. I think Haiku's bringing it up in chat, though. The actual reason you can't have a follower attached is because if you had the big bomb attached to you, when he leaves, he actually adds a timer. And because the dig game has a timer also attached to it, if you had like 2 timers simultaneously running, it would really mess up the game. Also, that was a nice run from the Smith before I finished my rant. And so
yeah,
the reason,
I'm sure they're happy to see that. Well,
yeah.
Kohrek is. I'm sure Mr. Johnny will be when he finds it too.
Yeah, that's awesome. But they didn't want 2 timers running at the same time, so they just basically said no followers can be attached to you to do the dig game, and that's why it is the way it is.
That does make sense.
It doesn't make sense. Just don't dig when you have the big bomb, and everything else should be fine. So Kohrek's finishing up his grand tour of the Dark World here. MrJohnnySpot's walking around Spiral Cave. It makes me wonder if Kohrek's going to do Bombo's tablet into Finishing Desert. If that's the case, he'll get his flippers, whether he wants them or not.
That'd actually be really good routing too, since you're in the area anyways.
Yeah, most definitely. It's very efficient. That's kind of how you see a lot of these runners get the leads that they do, just because they can just do so much with so little. And Night Cave here. 5 chests, 5 items. He's only looking for a couple more, so we'll see what he'll give us today.
Not really too hyped today though. Got a couple heart containers, which is nice.
Yeah, I guess, I don't know, that's pretty pathetic. Not one item that you need. JohnnySpot's giving us some new intel here with these newly found flippers that he had.
Yeah, he just had the unfortunate situation that he did go up to Death Mountain first and actually did not grab. Since he doesn't have the pearl, he couldn't check out Dark Death Mountain yet.
Oh, dude, I completely forgot about the pearl. I was just thinking, did I see him do Dark Death Mountain? I don't think that I did. Maybe he's just fast. But yeah, he orphaned the Ice Rod Cave, and boy, did this game give him a lot of stuff to do before you go over there. Oh my lord, that's really unfortunate. He's got flippers, and I mean, he could go do Aga.
Yeah, and he's probably gonna. And I'm guessing with how he's routing, he's gonna go check Zora first. So it's. And I'm guessing if he doesn't find it there, he's still got Sahasrahla and Eastern's open still. So that's 6 items over there. Probably will check that before even thinking about Ice Cave.
And it's just That's just the story of Randomizer. One spot could really hurt you, especially if you find a lot of things that kind of keep you from going that direction. You know, that being the Moon Pearl at the Ice Rod Cave, and the route that he took to skip Ice Rod Cave. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of liked it. I could have seen myself doing that easily and gotten trolled by it. You know, you can do those 3 caves. You just skip Ice Rod Cave to go do Desert, and then you're like, you know, I'll go to Ice Rod Cave later. Maybe when I get the flute or the boots or something like that. So it makes perfect sense. It's just unfortunate in this situation.
Yeah, I don't blame him with the routing at all, because having, you know, full access to Desert Palace with the way it gave it to you, it's kind of pointing you towards there. We didn't really find anything they needed there, but it was a good route. Just for this seeds, keeping you away from where you need to go.
Well, Kohrek will be going through deserts. The only good information he's going to get from this is knowing that he doesn't need the boots specifically to finish this dungeon, which is nice to know. Hopefully it doesn't turn him away from getting the flippers, because at this point I would be a little suspect that maybe those flippers are just required to get access to, you know, the pod area in the Dark World or the Pyramid or Catfish. That hammer is still kind of at large here, and that's really the only way to get over there. Or Aga, I suppose, if you wanted to do the long way.
Yeah, that's very possible. I mean, they've got plenty of locations in Dark World, so I don't think we'll see Aga that early, but it would technically be an option. It might be the only option, too, if we don't find the hammer where we have accessible.
I mean, with the flippers being available, they definitely will not have to do Aghanim this seed. Pods 5 and 6, so you're not going to see the hammer behind Pyramid. That would really be the only thing that's going to lock it. Unless you know, you might see Johnny do an Aga just because he thinks it might be his best option. And when you have that or Ice Rod Cave, I wouldn't blame him there. But unless Kohrek just like really misses the flippers as well, I wouldn't see him doing it either. Who knows, though? If you find a vanilla bow over here in Eastern Palace, not finding that Moon Pearl might be a really nice thing for him, because it could keep him away from doing a lot of other things. But nothing in Eastern so far. Kohrek is on the back portion of Desert Palace now.
Another bottle there.
More green goo. Lovely. Where were all these green potions when you were making me do escape with the Cane of Burna? Come on, game. You could have given me those a little earlier.
Yeah, it would have been easier than having to throw bombs at the rats.
Yeah. Granted, he did do a really good job at that. I feel like I would want just half magic, you know, being in the next chest, and then I'll just, you know, activate my Cane of Burna and never deactivate it for the entirety of escape. Your magic can last that long, right, with half magic?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Maybe back when quarter magic in the game was in the game, you could probably get close. So that was 2 items in escape. Or, excuse me, in Eastern.
Yep, still got one.
And then Kohrek will be getting his second crystal.
And
Still tied on the crystal count.
Yep, looks like it's about to go get the flippers right now.
Okay. So not missing this location will save him from potentially having to do an Aghanim. And then after Johnny opens this chest, he's going to be really in a tough spot deciding what his next plan of action is going to be.
Yeah, well, Armos has the last item there then.
I don't think he has anything left at this point. I think he has Aga or... maybe he hasn't done Sick Kid yet, so he can go do that. And then Ice Rod Cave, and then Aga Tower.
Yeah,
That's
think
pretty...
that's where he's going as Sick Kid, because starting in Sanctuary, I was trying to think where he could go that he hasn't checked, and I think that's about it.
He's really thinking about that one hard. He got all this stuff so early, and then you're like, wait, where's my pearl? I should have that by now.
It's like Kohrek's probably heading back to the Dark World.
Yeah, no hammer in hand for him, so these filthy mitts, you're kind of... If you want to explore the Dark World, you're bottlenecked to this one portal over here. But he's got full access now with those flippers.
Well, Mr. Johnny filled his hearts, so we'll see if he's making Aga. Yeah, it looks like that's where he's going.
Oh no.
And it looks like we're going to get a fake powder from Kohrek.
Oh, nice. Yeah, you spend all of your magic. You're required to have something that drains your magic, the Cane of Samaria, and then the mushroom, and then obviously a way to get over into the magic bat himself. So in this case, he's bypassing going through that hammer peg by mirroring on the other side of it. But you can activate your Cane of Samaria, and then if you switch to the mushroom, for some reason, the game thinks you have the magic powder because this game's really good. And so you can kind of bypass that and see what you get here. Alright, I'll take it, right?
Yeah, butter sword for a glitch. I mean, it's not really... It's the sequence break, but it's not really anything that's going to cause it, because you already had tempered, so you can already do everything. Just going to make the game easier now.
Oh, that's a really good point. The magic powder was on the lumberjack ledge, so I don't know if Kohrek actually knows that yet. I think Johnny does, but Kohrek doesn't.
Yeah, I don't think I saw a Kohrek check lumberjack.
That'd be really nice to him whenever he goes and finds that. He's like, what's this? Powder? Oh, wait. Actually, I've already checked that, so you don't have to worry about it.
Tegrinith. Johnny is missing the Moon Pearl, which is in the Ice Rod Cave, that he has not checked. It's like the only thing he hasn't checked other than going to Aga. And he decided to go to Aga instead of check the Ice Rod Cave.
Yeah. I don't think he's forgotten about it. I think he just made the decision like, hey, I'd rather just do this than go walk all the way over there to get, you know, a 20 rupee. It's a 50-50 at this point, and unfortunately it's the wrong 50-50. And the game kind of really is pointing a red flag at Aga, especially, you know, the lamp. He got the Master Sword, so that extra sword on Spectacle Rock was a curse for him because he wouldn't have had an option to do it, and now he's doing an Aghanim that is not required. We got a graveyard ledge check over here. More aerial capacity upgrades, that's nice. Also nice when that blue guard gets you.
Yeah.
I'm gonna guess we're gonna have 3 blue balls today, mostly because MrJohnnySpot currently has 3 blue hearts.
I'm going to go with 4.
4's good too. I was hoping you weren't gonna, or I was hoping you were gonna say how many hearts Kohrek currently had, and that would have been really mean. And I would have liked it.
I don't want to be that mean to him.
Yeah, you want as little as possible, especially when you're kind of going out of the way to do it anyways.
The one nice thing, I know Ega is not required. The one nice thing for Mr. Johnny though is if Hammer is a late find, it does give them, or it does give Mr. Johnny a nice teleport to the east side of Dark World without having to go all the way to Kakariko and then having to swim.
You bring up a very good point, actually. I wasn't counting. I think that was 1 or that was 2. So we'll hedge and say we're at 1.5 blue balls right now.
And we're at 2.5 now.
Two and a half blue balls. Okay.
3.5. Let's stop right there. Then we can both be right because we're right in the middle.
I like that. I like where your head's at right now. That's awesome.
Oh, Ega's not playing nice though.
Oh, he's gonna make a liar out of me and do 4.5. What a jerk. Alright, official blue ball answer today was 4.5, so if you guessed 4.5, you are correct.
Well, there's the hammer though.
Hammer's on the pyramid. Ooh. I don't think that unlocks anything else for MrJohnnySpot though.
No, it doesn't unlock anything, but having the hammer that early, that does give, you know, Thieves Town is pendant, but now Thieves Town is completely accessible. Actually, all the pendants are completely accessible now.
Interesting. I think Kohrek's going to be right behind him on his hammer because he's taking the time to swim down and keep his portal alive because of how awkward it is for him to get Dark World on this side.
Yeah, looks like Mr. Johnny's probably heading to the Ice Rod Cave.
What Mr. Johnny should do is just go into Ice Palace and Dungeon Bunny Revival in there. If not for the sake of, you know, it's just a cool little meme that needs to be shown off one of these days. Kohrek doubled back to pick up that big 20. He is short about 15 rupees to pay off the monkey.
Kiki, the ultimate extortionist.
No, he's just a... He believes in capitalism.
Yep, Kohrek's gonna get their hammer. Just a little bit here.
JohnnySpot got his pearl. He's thinking, oh crap.
Yeah, you know, if I'm Mr. Johnny, I'm probably feeling like I'm really behind, especially finding the pearl after doing Ega 1.
Yeah. It got him his hammer, but yeah, that hammer just didn't unlock anything at the time. Nice to have, but yeah. Which means he's still going to be missing a couple of the other pieces. He's got to get his Cane of Samaria from the chess game we know. The Smith had the Ice Rod. If Ether is required, he's going to have to get the Mushroom and turn that in. And I couldn't tell you where the Mushroom was. This is the best I can do right now. I forgot.
I think the Mushroom was on Dark Death Mountain.
Okay. First things first for Johnny, they'll be stopping by Hype Cave, Love Shack. It is 2 heart containers. Mushroom was in the Super Bunny Cave, so good memory by you, bad memory by me. Johnny is mirroring immediately, and makes me wonder if he is just about ready to do Ice Palace.
It looks
Kohrek's
like
gonna
Kohrek's
go.
right behind him.
And he went and got those 10 arrows on the island. I don't think he had actually checked it, so that was just a blind pull from him. Ice Palace is a good play to want to catch back up. He was in the area too, so not a bad play by any means either. He's going to be lacking a little bit on firepower compared to Kohrek, because Kohrek has that one sword from Hookshot Cave, and then also the other one from Fake Powdering. Butter Sword Cold Stare to Master Sword Cold Stare is two completely different worlds.
Yeah, and without half magic on the fire rod and no bombos either, so it'll be all sword. Unless he wants to try hammer strats.
Well, I think lucky for them, if this was something he was considering, they have. I think he has 3 green potions. Kohrek has 2 green potions because he had to use one before coming in. I think they every single one that they found was that. I could be wrong.
I think you are right, so I have a feeling we'll probably see a use out of those when they get to Cold Stare. Or at least for Mr. Johnny, probably not Kohrek with having butter.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I mean, 3 of those, that's effectively like having, triple magic instead of half magic, so. So annoying when you get the knockback and it pushes you back over your pegs. I feel for you on that one. Kohrek is running into some spikes here. Setting up for the most famous bomb jump in LTTP Randomizer. Also pretty famous in NMG2, but the good old Ice Palace bomb jump. I'm starting to wonder at this point if they're ever going to find the boots in this seed. What are you thinking? You think they're going to exist, or you think they're going to be somewhere in Ganon's tower they'll never look?
Or yeah, I mean, it's very possible. Who knows? We could have it to where it's still a boots required seed.
Yeah, you can still have we got 2 items in the Bonk Rocks that could be required, or you could have that, one in a million chance that the desert or the Ganon's Tower Big Key is on the torch.
Yeah, I know that's always in the back of my mind. If I go to desert when it's required and it's not a boots required, it's like, okay, I'm in go mode maybe till I see that torch.
That change your strategy at all when you're moving forward? Are you like, maybe I won't quite go mode this dungeon, I'll half go mode it, or do you just not care?
No, I'll still just go full go mode on the dungeon anyways, because it's like if you're wasting time off, it's what a 1 in 22 chance that it's actually there. You're wasting too much time, in my opinion.
Okay, no, I like it. Ice Palace is really not giving them too much results here outside of, the fact that it is a crystal. Well, you know what? Maybe I spoke too soon. There's a Bombos. That'll be really handy for beating Cold Stare, too.
And not to mention, that's Turtle Rock access.
Oh, and he has the Ice Rod as well. Yeah, that's even better. Good point. I like that. And he had found all 3 items, so we'll skipping those chests. Moving forward. So we're still looking for that flute. We might be looking for Quake, and we're definitely going to need that bow.
Mr. John's gonna have to be careful down to 1 heart. puts Cold Stare in the corner.
And good fight from Kohrek. Completely destroyed Cold Stare there, getting his third crystal.
There's Mr. Johnny getting his bombos.
Yep, and that'll give him access to Turtle Rock, but he's gonna have to do a little bit more exploring in the Dark World to get his Ice Rod before he wants to make that play, unless he wants to go there early.
It looks like Kohrek's actually making that play to Turtle Rock right now.
Yeah, he's just hell-bent on following the chain of crystals that he's able to complete. And it's really been working out well for him so far, so why stop now? Some people can hold this off a little bit later just because Turtle Rock is, you know, next door neighbors to everyone's favorite pig, Ganon. So you like to save the travel cost of getting up here, but quite a few items in Turtle Rock, and then you also have Mimic Cave, which you can check as well. If you can do it, why not? What you're looking for might be up here anyways.
Yeah, 6 items total with Mimic Cave. It's not a bad play, especially when you have everything you need to clear it this early.
Yeah, even 7 if he wants to leave, and he can go walk over to Spike Cave too, and then you can be mind-free about any progression being left on the mountain when you've checked everything.
That's true, and I don't know if it's just the way V29 works, but I've noticed, especially with seeds that I've gotten Cane of Burna, that it always points, there's always been something in Spike Cave. That's progression.
That's interesting. I never would have considered that, but yeah, that kind of makes sense. Ooh, that was a nice triple hit on the fire rod he got there. It was one shot, and he got all 3 of them, but yeah, he's...
Yeah, very nice kill, too, considering he was at 3 hearts, so I think if he would have got hit at all by Cold Stare, that would have been it.
Yeah, you're definitely right on that, so he clutched that one out. Kohrek is using his first weapon of the game to sneak past these spikes. So all the keys to Turtle Rock are in the front of the dungeon this seed.
Interesting thing, the 3 items, 4 if you count the boots and get with that 1 in 22 chance, but all of them could feasibly be on pedestal.
Oh, yeah, you make a really good point. That's
There's
not
the boots,
right.
though.
Okay, won't have to worry about that this seed then. We can knock things off ledges. I think they could add like a new item to the game. Instead of like, you know, the boots, you could have another item that's like the stepping stool. You know, it doesn't allow you to go fast, but you're able to get items off of the torch. So it's kind of like, you know, your hybrid boots, just in case.
Just give him the stepladder from Zelda 1.
Yeah, I feel like that one works a little different, though. It's more like a bridge, right? What do they call it, a ladder?
Well, it's a bridge, but I mean, if it's a stepladder, you could use it the same way.
No, it doesn't make any sense. Sorry. Oh, I'm only joking. Yeah, boots are, I mean, just nice to have for quality of life here. Remember back in the good olden days when, you used to find boots every seed, and then they realized that, hey, these really aren't required for that much, and then they kind of stopped existing for a while. Be curious to see if Johnny decides to make a play on any of these pendant dungeons, knowing that he might be a little bit behind in the seed. I noticed there Kohrek set his bomb down, and then he didn't pick it up. It was a little lucky he didn't get zapped, because if you change directions, one of those eyes are going to zap you, but I think he got it right before it was able to do it.
See, the one thing that I believe Kohrek wasn't able to check the hammer pegs because he didn't have the hammer yet when he did his smiths and everything. So
Yeah, it's a really good point. If there's something good here, it's things have changed. It's an orphan. It's a location he's kind of left behind. JohnnySpot actually seems to know quite a bit about this game. At least he knows about how the hammer pegs work. It actually just counts how many you hit, not exactly which specific ones. And as long as you stay on the same screen without doing a transition, you can just go back and just hit the other ones. And as long as you've hit X amount of pegs, the hole will open. So he only hit half of them coming out of this mirror, and going to get to open the door. Just the silly things how this game works.
yeah, but unfortunately, just a big 20 there.
Fortunate. We're going to have laser skips coming up soon for Kohrek. Probably kind of happy he got his boots. I've noticed that how people do laser skips, some people really like doing it with the boots. Some people don't like using the boots at all. Really just kind of how they learned it, I suppose.
We got a bow.
Oh, man. Bow and Turtle Rock. Bow and boots. Well, we could just be theoretically a flute away from go mode. This is crazy.
Yeah, that's all we. Well, unless Misery is Quake.
Hey, you just follow the follow the crystals, and it's working out for you. Oh, Kohrek taking the safety door. I don't blame him. Even though I am disappointed. He's my partner in the 2vs2 tournament. I'm allowed to give him a little bit of crap, right?
Yeah, of course.
Alright, just making sure if it was okay or not. But I've been mean to him enough. I don't want to talk to him about just completely dashing into a hole for no reason. I don't want to put any more limelight on his mistakes, more so than I should. So JohnnySpot is doing the next kind of, available play to him, that being going to Turtle Rock. So he'll be getting his boots, though.
Well, he also didn't check Dark Death Mountain because he didn't have the Pearl, so this will give him the chance to do all of that as well.
That makes a lot of sense as well. So he kind of hedged everything together here. It'll get him his Tempered Sword, too, so if he decides, which I assume that he will, to go to Trinex, it'll be a much easier fight for him.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll check Hookshot Cave before heading to Turtle Rock.
Hey, there's that mushroom that you said was on Death Mountain. I believe you now.
There's crystal number 4. Did not go inside the Hookshot Cave, though. Oh, he hadn't checked the Turtle Rock. That's right. So he's checking the medallion first.
Looks like he was thinking whether or not he wanted to do Spike Caver there or not. He's going to go ahead and do it. Might as well, and then you get to go combo Eastern and Pod. We're he's not going to find anything from the chest, actually, in Eastern. Armos could have the flute for all that we know, since we know he does have an item, and then nobody has checked Pod yet, so there's a lot of items in there that are still left to be checked.
Just a 20 in the Spike Cave.
And the seed's starting to feel like it could be like one of the nicer, hey, please clear every single chest in the game seeds. If Eastern and Pod come up empty, that really starts to leave you with some tough decisions.
Yes, I mean that leaves all the pendant dungeons open, and nobody's ventured inside any of them. So that could be you picked the right dungeon. Mr. Johnny's really not that far behind right now.
Yeah, most certainly. Yeah, he's about a full dungeon behind, but yeah, again, Kohrek doing a couple extra dungeons that Johnny doesn't touch, that could definitely close the gap right now. But we're getting some bonk rock checks here. These newly acquired kicks we got. Yeah, you always gotta love finding some love under a rock.
Yeah, and Kohrek's about to check the lumberjack and see that magic powder. So his butter sword was locked behind Ego 1.
Yeah, I think he's gonna laugh a little bit about that one. Oh, hey, I'm glad I fake powdered. Yeah. Hopefully he remembers that he did fake powder. Alright, so time to do Pod and Eastern, the next seemingly, methodical ways to his routing here. Go to the crystals you can complete and then do all the overworld stuff on the way. Pretty solid.
Yeah, and it will also give him access to Fat Fairy too.
Yeah, that is true too. Yeah, we got that going as well. Yeah, that would be a pretty tough argument to sell that. Hey, I had a really nice seed. The bow was in Turtle Rock, as well as the boots. Fat Fairy crystals were Eastern and Pod, and it wasn't that bad. I wouldn't believe you at first. He's got these 3 chests over here to check at Saha as well. Ooh. Johnny got eaten by the chain chomps there.
Yeah, those are no joke with red mail. Or blue mail and only 10 hearts.
Yeah, 2 hearts of damage every time, I think. They're just jerks. They're silly, unpredictable movements. You have any guesses where you think the flute might be? What are you feeling? We just going with the same chain? It's going to be hanging out in like Pod, or you think they're going to have to go out of their way a little bit?
I haven't seen this for a while, and I hope I can see it. I think Sahasrara is hiding the flute in his robe.
Oh. So you're saying you think Saha's going to be hiding the flute under his robe, and we have to give him a green pendant to get him to derobe to get the flute?
Yes.
You know what? I hope you're right. I want to see it too.
Yeah, it's just been so long since I've seen Sahasrara have anything of value. He's always just kind of there, and nobody ever talks to him.
Yeah, I mean, it's depending on what the green pendant is, that's really a lot of gates that could be on that item. But, man, every now and then, you know, you forget about him, and that's the time he gets you the worst. Those old people can be really spiteful sometime, you know, when their grandkids never call or text them back, and be like, oh, by the way, you left this over here. Are you looking for it? Gotcha.
Yeah, and they're not going to be understanding just because they live out in the middle of nowhere either.
No. No! Hey, I live out in the middle of nowhere. By the way, you left your boots here. I mean, he does that to the NMG players all the time. It's freaking rude.
Yeah, the only benefit is you're already out in the middle of nowhere because you had to go to Eastern, but...
Oop. It's a little off on that bomb, and now he's kind of getting ping-ponged around with those lasers, but he does make it out without dying.
We'll get to see what Armos has in a little bit. We should make very quick work of the Armos when he gets there with the silvers.
Yeah, 1 silver each. The preferred way to take care of him. Yeah, he's pretty much stacked right now. He's got all the firepower he needs to beat the game. He's just looking for that way to get into Misery Mire to take down those eyeballs. Oh, well, the flute's not there. I like the play to go ahead and do Eastern before Pod, though. Pod is really long dungeon, especially when you're going to check everything. And if you could just find what you need outright in Pod, or excuse me, in Eastern, you know, then being able to go mode Pod opposed to having to do everything makes all the difference. Especially if you get a really early big key, too.
Yeah, as Eastern Palace, if you're looking for something, it's pretty much the exact same amount of time, with the exception if you get everything before having to go to that back dark room.
Yeah, exactly.
Mr. Johnny picks up there. Oh.
Wisely using his Cane of Burna here. Might as well use your magic. You're going to get a refill before the fight anyway, so... Better safe than sorry, as they all say.
Yep, and speaking of safety, taking that safety door.
I gave Kohrek a hard time about it, but there's nothing wrong with that safety door. Take the few seconds opposed to taking the few minutes. Those silly Samaria conveyors only move so fast. Getting trolled a little bit by this laser. He's got a green potion you could use too. He tried to use his Cane of Burna, but he might have had a little magic there, but the activation fee on it, again, is just a little bit more than what it costs to actually run it.
Yeah, it does have a pretty steep activation cost. But he clears Laser Bridge and off to Trinex. Well, there's a half magic.
Nice to have. It can make Ganon's tower climb a little bit better. That anti-fairy boxing out Johnny there, that was pretty unfortunate RNG there. I can't ever tell if the Pokey and the anti-fairy are scripted in that room, or if you do it a certain way, they'll always be in a certain spot. Sometimes you run into Pokeys, sometimes you don't. I imagine they have a little bit of a... I mean, Pokeys don't have the same RNG, so maybe that's why that is. Kohrek's attempting a hammer jump here, and Johnny didn't get to switch over to the fire rod quick enough. If you actually don't change your menu when one of these heads are exploding, you actually can't menu until it's dead. He does get that hammer jump off, though. I was a little worried. It's kind of a tight window.
Yeah, and Mr. Johnny gets that kill.
And he was low health, too, so he earned that one.
Yeah, definitely. Two very clutch boss fights from Mr. Johnny because the Cold Stare was the same.
Pod is not delivering.
Yeah, nothing of value. I mean, they got the half magic, but it's not necessary.
We have all the dungeon items, though, so if need be, you know, Helmasaur is going to have that last item. Maybe it's the one you're looking for.
It's definitely what you're hoping for at this point.
Yeah, and he did have the option just to rush the Trinex 2, I think. Actually, I'm not sure if he had enough keys or not. But he did get that big key on the right side, but he'll be doing it now regardless. And JohnnySpot is right behind him because he got his newfound bow, so he'll finish up Eastern, and his Eastern's going to be a little quicker than Kohrek's because he had already taken a dip in there looking for that pearl. And Kohrek went out of his way to pick up that heart just so he could have the sword beams here. Once he switches to hammer, he has to hit down some pegs, and then he'll have to hit a switch. If you have beams out, you can hit that switch with your sword beams, opposing to have to menu to a boomerang or a Samari or a bow or any other ranged weapon, so it kind of saves you some menu time.
Yeah, Mr. Johnny's actually heading into Pod first.
Okay. And again, if what he was looking for was an Eastern, he could have, you know, saved the time by not having to check all of Pod, but at the same time, if what he's looking for is in Pod, he saves the extra mirror transition, so, you know, it's kind of got to hedge your bets to save these few seconds here and there.
And we'll see if Helmasaur has that flute.
He's got to hammer off his face here, then either slash or shoot his jewel. I really like the Helmasaur fight. I'm not sure why. It's really satisfying hammering off the mask. I think I just like the way it sounds.
It is a nice sound, but there's no flute.
Oh boy. Alright, pick a dungeon, any dungeon. Which one are you going to first?
mean, the best routing would be going to Kakariko Village, then just kind of Skull Woods, Thieves Town, Swamp Palace. But most items are going to be in Swamp Palace as well.
Yeah, you know, if you're going just most bang for your buck, you got Swamp. Doing Skull Woods first could, like, save you the most, you know, trouble in case you did notice that it was on the pedestal, because you could go read that text first, but Kohrek's heading to Swamp Palace.
Yeah, that would be a good point, doing Skull Woods, or even just checking while you're back there to see if it's pedestal, because then you know you can just go mode every single pedestal dungeon.
Yeah. But, you know, the good old... Actually, he's going to do Big Bomb, so let's just switch that up.
Yeah.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, it does.
I always forget about it at this point of the game. Big Bomb's probably the correct play here.
Mushroom's already been checked. It was the Ether medallion.
Ooh, Kohrek's going for the bomb skip here. See if you can pull it off. Looking good so far. Very nice. If you have the big bomb in hand and you screen transition on the same time it hits 0, you get a little bit of a frame window there. You'll actually reattach the bomb to yourself and reset its timer. Screen transitions can count from a multitude of ways. It can count from a mirror transition as well. It can count from going into a whirlpool also. There's a lot of strange things you can do with that bomb. But it just so happens he knew that if he hammered down those pegs and was lined up on the right pixel, all he had to do was dash up and dash left, and you would make it into that transition at the right time for it to respawn. And even if you mess it up, if you're there just a little too early, you can actually hold right and transition back, and then it will reattach to you that way in case you're just a little off with your timing. So it's kind of a little fail-safe opposed to walking all the way back and picking up the bomb.
Kohrek's going to check the hammer pegs, which we know is a big 20. The main question is, where does he go after this?
I mean, he's right next to Thieves Town. You'd think he would just hop right in there.
Looks like that's what he's doing.
Yeah, 5 items in Thieves Town. 4 being in the dungeon itself, 5 being, you know, returning grandfather's text by, you know, talking to Shrala to get that item. Maybe he heard you on commentary and was like, I think he might be right. Let's go see if the flute is there.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, it's the quickest one to check, but again, you know, checking, he might go to Skull Woods after this just to get a pedestal check as well.
Yeah. And Skull Woods can be a pretty quick check to get those 2 items. It's just so annoying that, you know, you have so many chests in that freaking dungeon, but you don't know which one's got the items. So you could go through the whole entire thing just to find all the small keys, and you're like, oh crap, I gotta kill Moth for the last item, and by that point you're already committed. JohnnySpot takes down Helmstor on his side, so he'll be getting his 5th crystal, and his 6th will be really not that far behind, because again, all he has to do is go fight Armos. The other Armos.
Yeah, that would be an evil first fight if they made Ice Armos the first boss fight you had to do.
It sounds like you don't play Entrance Shuffle.
I have a little bit.
No fluting sign yet. And he's going through the motions here. He didn't just elect to check the first 4 and nope out. He's committed to finishing the whole thing. And I mean, it's a green pendant. So I think if you were going to do all this, you're going to finish it outright, unless you do find the flute. I'm telling you, if you found like the flute in the big chest or something, but the green pendant turn-in was Quake, man, that would really chat me off there a little bit, because I think I would leave.
If Quake is necessary for my...
Yeah.
So I know if it was me and that was the case, I know I probably wouldn't be coming back in here very quickly.
Nope, that'd probably be the last thing I did. Well, there's that small key that had to be there. So we'll check what's on the big chest, and it looked like he had both dungeon items too, so 3 items still in here.
There's the red mail.
So Kohrek Sprite's now a red Las Vegas sign. So 9 hits to take out blind here. Looking good so far. Yeah. That was actually really fast. He got him killed before he even got into the light. Those sword beams that you have actually allow you to kill him just a pinch faster. So good for him not taking damage. Well, at least not taking enough damage to cause a heart. I don't know if Red Mail can tank a hit for you on that one. Alright, well, he got his green pendant out of there. Outside of that, there was nothing in Thieves Town. This is where Johnny can make up some time and catch up if he just decided to, you know, go outright to Swamp Palace. But he's going to be checking his bonk rocks. I would think he'd probably head up and get the powder as well.
Yeah, I mean, you're there, you did Aga, you may be thinking that, you know, maybe there's potential that the flute could have been behind.
Yeah, at that point I would be praying for it. Here's that thing that happens with Skullwoods where all you find are keys. Good bomb jump there.
Yep, looks like we are going to get the powder.
He worked hard for that powder. He honestly deserves it, so...
Which, pretty safe to assume he'll head to the Batman and get his butter sword soon, too.
Yeah, most definitely. You'd want to capitalize on, you know, your investment that you made. And he hasn't turned in his mushroom yet, so, you know, he elects the option to do it the real way or the fake way. Probably doesn't want to drain a half bar of magic, though. Here comes our
the pedestal.
You can read it out for us.
Just a little piece of love. Pedestal hype is dead.
Alright, so that pretty much leaves us with, God, what is that? One item in Skull Woods, or the 6 items that are in Swamp.
And Sahasrala's pendant still.
Yeah, and that one. And then I guess we still have like one fetch quest out there being the shovel that we haven't found also. Sorry, I forgot about your prediction, but I mean, again, that's the issue. Everybody forgets about the old man.
It's starting to look good, too, because there was the second item from Skull Woods.
It really is. We'll see if Kohrek goes there first before doing Swamp. Might as well.
That's what it looks like. And my prediction was wrong.
Oh.
He just had some love for Link.
It looks like Saha was just hiding a little bit of love under his robe today. Well, I guess Swamp Palace is probably the only reasonable place you've got left to check.
Mushroom is the ether coin, Karnath.
Alright, well, time to knock out this good old Swamp Palace.
Yeah, we're gonna find, I think the trolliest thing we could see right now is we find the flute in here, but then Misery Mire is Quake, and Quake is behind the shovel, which is still in Swamp Palace.
Yeah, any of those combinations are the worst. But I think one or the other has to be in here. We're going to find a flute, or we're going to find a shovel, and or both. Looks like Johnny is right behind him, too.
Yeah, this might be Johnny's next play, because he's in the area.
If ether is not strictly required, this could really, catch him up quite a bit by not having to dip into Thieves Town and all of that.
Yeah, definitely. And even if ether's required, if, for some reason it's flutes on something like Argus, that means ether's going to have to be in Mire area anyways, so it's not even going to be that big of a deal.
But he did save and quit out of Bombo, so I think he's going to go ahead and do his due diligence and check out Thieves Town and Skull Woods. So unfortunately for JohnnySpot, him and Kohrek seem to have really been on the same wavelength as far as routing outside of that one divergent that really just cost JohnnySpot a lot of time, being that he missed that pearl.
Yeah, and that's kind of the time difference between them right now. Other than that, they're probably very close to each other.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, that Unaga Tower takes some time. You had to do it bootless too. So everybody's favorite dungeon you want to skip, always having the progression.
And it looks like we're going to see a left side skip initially.
Yeah, it's an interesting way to do it. You can do left side after you check the front chest and then skip Argus, because the Argus fight is actually kind of what takes the most time. So you can get the, the quick 3 chest over here, and then, do left side, get the 2 chests, and if it's like, really, it's going to be Argus, then, well, at this point, you've already full cleared the game. What's one more check?
But there's our flute.
Alright, so, hypothetical go mode here. Boy. Part of me wants the shovel to be in that waterfall chest and swamp, which has Quake, which is what you need, but... if it is there, he'll be going back really quick.
Yeah, as we only have Mire Shed and Checkerboard Cave to check, and then just be right back to Swamp.
Yeah. I get to listen to everybody's favorite song here. Is it bad that I had, images of Dr. Bob singing some random flute song to me right now? I think it is kind of bad.
No, I do it all the time.
Alright.
It just gets stuck in your head.
He really does. I don't know. He does it on purpose. Alright, so soon we'll get to see if we need this last medallion. MrJohnnySpot's. Looks like he's trying
it
to...
is Bombos.
I guess Frame knows what he's talking about here. So, Kohrek just gets to go mode, Misery Mired. So, really only looking for the big key in this dungeon, because that's really the only thing that's going to be gating him from doing Misery Mire. Ooh, that was a really good first room by him. He nailed that one cycle there in the Wiz Robes.
Yeah, definitely.
JohnnySpot's heading up Death Mountain, so I think he'll probably be getting that big 20 from Spike Cave. So just a few more places where this big key can be. Hopefully it's not vanilla, that's always the worst. How many scrolling wall screens do we need to see today? I guess we could see all 3 of them.
Yeah, it's looking like we're going to see all 3 of them.
Unless you include the Skullwoods one. You don't get to see that one that much these days. He needs to take a cool 20-second break here.
Yeah, they need the break because they didn't get to go to the Hera basement, so...
Oh yeah, that's true. This coffee got cold because basement wasn't required. One of the downsides of being a rando runner here. And there's our solid vanilla big key. So Red Nail, he's got silvers, 38 arrows, 15 hearts, butter sword. I I lost count after like 14 green potions, I think, the seed's given him. Do you think he'll be okay for Vitreous?
Yeah, I think he'll be okay for Vitreous. He can pretty much pick which way he wants to kill him at this point, except for bomb strats. A little low on the bombs for that.
Yeah, 9 bombs. Probably wanted a little bit more than that. I'm actually not sure if it's possible to kill him with only bombs, even if you had the maximum amount. He takes way too many, I think.
I wouldn't even want to try to test that, trying to hit the big eye with bombs.
It's not as bad as you think. There's a little bit of a pattern, but I mean, it's definitely not fun. But yeah, silvers, what he's switching to is definitely the preferred method. Each of these just one-shot the eyeball, one-shot basically everything in the game, you know, except for the big eyeball. Nice and clean, takes him out. Even got the quick reveal on him, and he was dead before you knew it.
Yeah, and that means he has Crystal 7 now.
And what does that mean?
I believe that means it's time to climb up Death Mountain and go to Ganon's Tower.
And what else does that mean?
I believe that means it's time for chat to start guessing in which chest the big key in Ganon's Tower is going to be. You have a choice between 1 and 22.
And what else does that mean? I have nothing left. Sorry. Yeah, 1 and 22. Post your guesses. We're just looking for the Ganon's Tower big key at this point. Winner, as always, receives a little piece of Herfy Derfy's love and affection. I don't know if he really has that much of that left to solicit it out, but I've had a lot left over from, you know, all the times he gave it to me, so I can definitely give you some of mine if you guess right. You can hold me to that one.
Maybe we could talk to Dr. Bob about starting to sing sonnets, or if they guess it right for the person. For the Swag Duck Anthem.
You get a mention in his next sonnet?
Yeah,
Okay.
there we go.
What's going to be your guess today?
I'm going to go with... I'm actually going to pick location, go Vanilla Big Key.
Vanilla Big Key. You know, I've got 2 NMG runs on my belt to date, so... I think that's the... Is that the front chest in the Ice Armos, or is it the back left one?
It is it's the front one.
Back left one with the arrows. So I guess, yeah, that'll depend whether he goes right side or left side first. I'm gonna say chest. I'm gonna say chest 5, and that chest is going to be the. Excuse me. Yeah, chest 5, and that's going to be the. Well, it'll be the back right one that he gets in the right side room. He's going right side first. I was hoping my partner wasn't going to make a liar out of me.
We still did have to find that key before that could happen too, but he did find one.
So that was chest 1 and 2. Fortunately for Johnny, he's doing his due diligence, cleaning out Thieves Town. He's not going to find anything in here, unfortunately. Throwing those Samaria blocks over to flip the switch, and chest 3. I'll let you count them out.
Yeah, that would be chest number 5.
Hey! Sorry, Herfy Durfy. Your love and affection belongs to me. If you guessed chest 5, you were right. So I know my 2 versus 2 partner that well that I knew where he would go. I was wrong in the order that he opened them though, so he kind of disappointed me there in a little bit. Even though if he didn't, he would have made me a liar.
So now he's on his way up Ganon's tower and going through the gauntlet.
Johnny's finishing up his blind kill as well. Didn't quite get the scripted fight. He kind of took a hit and didn't get that one hit in time, so he drifted off to the bottom there. Kohrek's flying through this gauntlet right now.
Yeah, he's having a very nice gauntlet.
In case you've forgotten what these Light World bosses look like, you gotta fight them all again.
This time with a little bit better equipment, though.
Yeah, I mean, in Kohrek's case, really not that big of a difference for him. He had Tempered Sword for everything. Though, most certainly, MrJohnnySpot's Lammo 2 will probably be significantly faster than his Lammo 1 with the Butter Sword Silver as opposed to just Fighter Sword and nothing else. And no need to open any more chests up here either. Pretty much got everything you need in the game.
Yeah, red mail, butter sword, silver is pretty much done.
I don't know if anyone was ever like, man, I wish I had 16 hearts for the Ganon fight, you know. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Actually, he could go for the bug net to have Swagenham strats, but...
Nah. He's not a swag guy. JohnnySpot's gonna do his pedestal check.
Save and quit, and I'm guessing probably gonna head right into swamp.
Yeah, he'll probably turn in his green pendant and then go to swamp. Basically the same exact mirror of what Kohrek did.
Nope, looks like he is gonna make the swamp play first.
Alright, just go right into the swamp then. Even better. He'll be happy he did. Ooh. He had kind of a good setup there to get a triple, but a little kind of out of place, and then he missed those two.
That was a nice double. And down goes Sega 2.
Yeah, it looked like he finished up there with a 1020-101 cycle, I think.
Yeah, I kind of lost track. I know there were a couple patterns that are not too friendly and kind of got tagged by the fireballs and knocked out of position.
Yeah, they got a little ugly at first, and it's really annoying when he shoots a blue ball at you first because it knocks you out of your position if it hits you. But he's got plenty of time to kill, as you know, his partner's still looking, or his opponent's still looking for that flute, so all he has to do is keep this one in the ring, and he'll be moving on 1-0 in this kind of crazy tournament. Getting that first one always feels good.
We're on to phase 3. Misses the torch glitch, but not a big deal.
Yeah, half magic, and fire rod, and all that good stuff, and all those green potions I don't think he used.
Yeah, I think he still has 2 of them. And down goes Ganon.
GG to Mr. Kohrek. Moving on to 1-0.
GG to Kohrek, who finishes with a speedracing.tv time of 1:46:52.
I'm sure that Triforce message was exactly how he was feeling right now. But we'll see if he wants to do an interview with us, come chat a little bit about the seed. Did Johnny go into Swamp already? Did I miss that? I thought he was going there, and then I was watching Kohrek, and then my one-sided mind missed it, but I thought he had already went in.
He did go in. I'm wondering what happened there.
Maybe he flooded a key?
I mean, it's possible, but all you have to do is leave Swamp Palace and come right back in, and it'll clear that out.
Yeah, maybe that's what happened. I see a chest open here. I'll definitely know he went in, so yeah.
It looks like we are joined by Kohrek. GG.
Ah, thank you.
GG, Kohrek. How'd you feel about the seed?
Man, it felt like I couldn't do anything wrong for a while, and then we got kind of bricked on that flute. So, but it was all right. It was a fun seed.
Yeah, it just seemed like you just kind of followed your crystal path, and it looked like it was just going to be smooth sailing for the most part. I mean, it kind of was, even though you basically did almost all the dungeons. Your opponent got tripped up by something. We'll say he did Aga Tower. So if you had to guess what he missed, what might it be?
Agnes Cave.
Oh, it wasn't that one. He found that before you, actually.
So did you just not get to the pyramid?
No, he when he did his South Shore route, he went Mini Moldorm to Desert.
Oh man. Okay.
So that kind of led him. He actually He basically had every friggin' item in the game except for the Moon Pearl at one point, it seemed like, because that got him to the pyramid just a pinch faster than you, so he had his hammer and all that good stuff. But no Pearl.
That's rough. It was kind of interesting because I was, I'm sure you realize I was planning to do Mini Moldworm to Ice Rod and then go back the other way, and then it's like, okay, here's all the items.
I actually thought you were going to do Mini Moldworm to Desert also.
Yeah, I mean, this seed is, it proves the fact, but I just don't like leaving that Ice Rod cave at all when you're that close to it in this logic.
Right. Hey, it paid off for you this time, and I mean, not only did it pay off, but it won you a race for someone else who didn't respect it as much as you.
But yeah, it was a pretty fun seed. It was pretty nice. Like, okay, we're going to the next crystal dungeon, and then you get the laser bridge, and here's the bow. It's like, all right, that's great. Let's just keep this going, and then it stopped.
Yeah, I do think outside of that, for the most part, your routing was very similar. At least after he'd gotten his pearl, you both basically kind of did the same things, and then when he had to make his decisions, he went, Thieves Town, Skull Woods, into Swamp as well. So he's in Swamp Palace right now, about to get his flute, so that's about where this race is at. And then, you got that extra sword from the fake powder before you even knew that fake powder was on the lumberjack.
Yeah, like I kind of did that on a whim. I was gonna start doing the north route to the right side. I'm like, yeah, you know what? I should probably check that. And man, when I saw the powder up there, I was so glad I did because I probably would have ended up doing that too.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
I'd almost rather do Aga for one item than Swamp for 6. I know that's silly, but you know how it is.
It's not silly. Everybody understands. Anybody who's played this game enough. We all hate that dungeon. Anybody who doesn't, well, they're lying. But that definitely puts you 1-0 as far as your first round in the Swiss tournament. That's definitely, the best start you could hope for. What are your hopes and expectations in this tournament? You looking for, big plans? How far do you want to make it? Grand Finals is the only correct answer here, but I'll take whatever you give me.
I want to make it so there's never a point where I'm in the tournament and not having fun. That is the goal.
Always want to make sure you're having fun the whole time. I like it.
Yep, that's it. Like if I'm having fun and I make it to late in brackets, then great. If I'm don't make it out of Swiss, fine. It's just have fun because that's what the point is, right?
He's 100% right. So have fun and hate Swamp Palace. I like it. You know what? That's a good randomizer philosophy.
I think I got this figured out.
Mr. Johnny is entering Meyer. Do you have any questions for Kohrek, Sir Link-a-Lot?
No, you pretty much covered everything I was thinking of. I was going to ask about how he felt about the, fake powder to get that butter sword, and then when he saw the powder up on the ledge.
Yeah, ask him as many questions as you want, because tomorrow I got to be talking to him for a little longer than I want to anyway, so I don't want to wear myself out.
Yeah, no questions I can really think of. You pretty much covered everything I was going to ask.
Well, in that case, I'll just stick around for the end of the race here. Let you guys finish commentating MrJohnnySpot.
No problem. Good old 156 out of 216 items there. And yeah, Johnny probably gonna have to go through all the hoops here to get his Meyer big key because it's in that lovely spot, being where it always is. Why wouldn't you go there first? Well, this is Randomizer, and that spot sucks.
Because we've already seen 2 of the walls, we don't want to see the 3rd one.
Tried to skip ahead there and go down a little early, but there's no. Oh man, I haven't seen this this route in a very long time. So yeah, you can take the back door here to get to the other side. There actually is a small key over here in a pot as well, but it's kind of a. You don't really gain anything from going this way usually, just because you're going to be spinning a key to get this key anyways, and there's a switch block you can hit as well.
Yeah, it's interesting routing.
Ooh, and then going all the way back. That's the first time I've seen that one. That's alright though. I know I used to do the back route in Meyer all the time. I was a little shamed by how often I did it, but this dungeon was confusing to me. I didn't quite understand its layout, how it's worked. I was just really trying to learn by watching all the other people, and then I was like, well, this was working out for me. Why would I do something different? I don't want to confuse myself. Eventually, I was just like, well, maybe it's just not quite as fast doing it that way, so I always did it the other ways.
Yeah, I think between Ice Palace and Meyer, those are the 2 hardest dungeons to learn how to route efficiently.
Oh, I couldn't even. I still to this day don't know how to ride Ice Palace good and efficiently. That dungeon makes no sense to me still. My brain just doesn't process it. Just give me a go mode Ice Palace. I understand that. Anything else, it's too taxing.
Yeah, it's definitely an easy Ice Palace. Run in, hit a crystal switch, do a bob and jump, and call it a day.
But he'll be doing his cutscene here, getting his big key. He has a very lucky rupee count. I like that.
Yeah, I like the rupee count as well. We won't pay any attention to the end of my name.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together there. Or I didn't put 7, 7, and 7, and 7, and 7, and 7 together there. That's awesome. He did it for you, I bet. He's like, let me go farm a rupee. I gotta pay homage to Sir Link a lot here. Didn't quite get the Samaria dash there. It's a little bit fickle. That trick definitely looks a little easier than it actually is. It's kind of easy to miss if you don't dash up on the right pixel because you'll bonk along the wall like that. And then sometimes if you don't do it quick enough, you can get sniped by a fireball too.
Yeah, those fireballs fire extremely quickly in my air. Don't really get much breathing time.
They're always in the worst possible spot too. His arrow count probably not as high as he would want it to be to climb Ganon's tower. Oh
Yes.
yeah. Okay.
Gonna have to pick some arrows up. I don't remember if one of the chests before Big Key had. I want to say one of them did have a 10 arrow drop, but
I feel like you're right. I did notice that Kohrek had quite a few arrows when he was doing his gauntlet. Which normally you don't have that many right after you finish Meyer, so maybe that you will get bailed out by, a 10 drop.
I did pick up a few extra in Eastern because I knew Meyer was coming up.
Well, even better. Making our way through Death Mountain here. He's avoiding all the death rocks. At any point in the race, Kohrek, did you have any sinking feeling that you might not be in that good of a position just because at that point the flute was... You didn't have anything left, I don't believe.
So when I had all 3 pendant dungeons left, I'm like, oh no. Because if it was like in like the first 4 in Thieves Town and he checked it, that could have gone bad because I did a lot of stuff after the bow, right? But once those 2 spots didn't check out and I knew it wasn't Swamp, I'm like, all right, it's fine again. Everything is fine here.
Yeah, I guess at that point, if your opponent had made such an aggressive play to beat you, well, they probably deserve it.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'll go ahead and apologize too for kind of wanting Meyer to be Quake and then like the shovel being the last item in Swamp just to be annoying,
yeah, we were talking about that. What could be the worst troll if we find the flute in Swamp Palace?
What I really wanted was the Quake to be from turning in the green pendant, but the flute being in the big chest in Thieves Town.
I mean, I was kind of hoping for a pedestal seat at that point, like it would have been
absolutely. Fun. Yeah, just knowing where it was at. Yeah, that would have been even better. Like, I don't mind doing 3 pendant dungeons if I can skip everything, but making me check everything along the way. Ooh.
And Mr. Johnny's skipping the right side, even getting the key, so it's going to be a little bit before they get that big key.
You might get to see the bug net and cape, though.
Maybe even the shovel.
We also might see the 4th bottle, I think, too. We'll see if that's full of green goo as well.
Also, thank you, Kohrek, for making sure that my big key guess was correct. That's just that just shows how good of partners we are.
Apparently, the stun prize is 10 arrows. I don't think I knew that.
No. Yeah, that's a very nice stun prize for Mr. Johnny.
Yeah, I guess you guys could have found that out really early. You had the hook shot pretty quick.
We had the blue boomerang and escape even, so yeah.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Oh, yeah. Vanilla, it was vanilla, wasn't it?
It was one before vanilla. It's in. I think it was in the vanilla map chest.
It's kind of hard to check the stun prize and escape if you didn't really want to use magic to do it. And all those things that you kill wouldn't drop a stun prize because they have a small key. JohnnySpot had actually ran out of magic during escape. Not enough. He'd done everything but killing the rat, and he actually just killed it with bombs, so He is well versed in all the methods.
Hey, backup strats are key sometimes.
Yeah, it worked. He did it really well too. Well, he's managed to fill up his arrows.
And has quite a few bombs as well.
He ruined his rupee count for you, though.
I blame Ganon's tower.
So I don't know if he was trying to bonk over, but yeah, if you wait for that turtle, you actually will not trigger the portal until your iframe's in. So if you want to skip that portal cutscene, you can just take damage from the turtle. I think he was trying to dash across too, because I saw him grabbing the wall. So I guess we'll have seen every boss today except for Mothula and Argus.
Nobody wants to see Mothula anyways.
I like Mothula. I think that's a fun fight. It keeps you honest. Hey, there's our Quake.
Yeah, it looks like we're not going to find the bug net then, unless it's on the upper chest of Ganon's tower and he checks those.
I guess that's... I think Argus might have had an item. And then the waterfall chest as well. Johnny's Ganon fight is going to be just a pinch more safer than Kohrek because he's going to have that one extra heart.
And you can also powder on the way up the tower too.
Oh yeah, that's true too. Kohrek never got to get his real powder.
Nope. I was kind of hoping that ether would be important, but never was.
Nope, just Bombos, just going to Ice Palace. We'll never know what's in that tile room chest or that top left chest in the right side room in GT. That also answers Farame's question if Quake was in checkerboard. It was not.
Only got half of it right.
Yeah. Well, it was at that point, you know, kind of 50-50 for him. But of course, you didn't have to get Bombos before you got Ether. You could have gotten... Technically, you could have had Ether way earlier. Oh, I guess they were kind of locked by the same stuff, though.
Where was Bombos again? I see it all blended together eventually.
It was an Ice Palace, I believe.
Oh, that's right. It was the third item. Yep. Oh, Bombos and Ice Palace. It's like the reverse meme. I'm sure you guys talked about sprites a long time ago, but I do like the Zero Suit Samus with the red mail, the Justin Bailey outfit.
Justin Bailey?
Yeah, that's the... so in the original Metroid, if you type Justin Bailey as the code, that was like the color scheme, and that's what Samus looked like.
Oh, okay. I see this as gravity. That's what I see. Yeah, that's the regular Nintendo one, though, right?
Yes, when everybody got completely shocked when they found out that Samus was a girl.
Yeah, I guess you're right about all that. I played way too much Super Nintendo Metroid. I didn't play too much of the regular Nintendo games. Regular Nintendo games were too hard, man.
They really were.
Yeah, they had challenge on a completely different level than games now.
They didn't care, you know? It was like, if you die, just start over from the very beginning. We don't care.
Yep, no checkpoints, no save points.
Alright, so JohnnySpot taking down Lanmo 2. A lot easier than just Fighter Sword Lanmo, which is what he had to do, unfortunately. Made good work of the Wizrobe rooms there also. He's a little low on magic right now, but I do think he's got some potions in his back pocket also. I think he's got at least a blue, if not maybe some more. Yeah, he's got a blue.
I think still has a green as well.
Yeah. Like I said, they got 14 this seed, so I don't think he's used all of them yet. I counted.
No, we're not going to find out what those two chests have.
Good man, I like it.
I have never seen that before.
Yeah, if you blow open that wall, the same frame that the torches go out, the wall's gone, but it still looks like it's there.
Is that really why that works? Because that's really odd, because I did that today for the first time ever also, and I was a little confused by it as well.
That is what I have heard from somebody that knows more than I do. I don't remember who it was, but that's what they said, and it sounds plausible to me.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yeah.
My logic would have been like, game is dumb. That's why it happens.
Just good programming, that's all it is.
All right. I think if we were just doing, you know, segmented boss splits here, JohnnySpot might be able to make up a little time on you in regards to Aga 2.
I would hope almost every runner of this game would be able to make up some time on my Aga 2. He is already ahead, for sure.
Yeah, you definitely went 1-0. I think you went...
That was
triple.
an amazingly well done fight. I think he went literally 4 fewer phases than I did.
I think
Maybe
you're
5,
correct.
actually.
Yeah, you were having a little rough luck there.
There wasn't any luck there. That was all me. That was me.
Yeah, that was a really nice triple finish off. Alright, so he's Ganon fight away here from finishing up this seed. Did anybody try to hum with their holding their nose closed?
I absolutely did the first time I saw that.
It is very true.
I'm not falling for it.
You'll try to do it and you almost feel like you're going to start choking or something. It just is very odd to try to do.
I didn't read it the first time. I saw someone comment on it. And I was like, this sounds like a troll. I'm really curious, but I'm not doing it on not while I'm mic'd up. JohnnySpot, pretty much on phase 4 now.
Yep, there's the last hit. Gets the torch glitch. One more arrow is going to do it. And there goes Ganon. GG to MrJohnnySpot.
GG. It was still an excellent finish by him. Truth be told, he actually probably got a little bit of an unfortunate draw having to go against Kohrek first, who is as seasoned in Randomizer as he is. But this is a very long Swiss round, and you only need to win 5 out of your 7 matches to move on. So by all means, an early loss doesn't mean anything in this.
No, not at all. Puts the pressure on a little bit because you can really only take the one more loss, but you're not out of it yet.
GG to him. We'll see if he has some more to say about the seed. Else we'll probably be wrapping up here. And we were joined by MrJohnnySpot. GG, man.
Hello. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, GG.
Yeah, GG, Kohrek.
So, do you want to talk about that Moon Pearl?
Do I want to? I mean, not particularly.
That was really unfortunate, man. That was really bad luck. I completely understand what you did, and everything made sense. It was just, you got randomized.
It was literally the last spot open to me after I beat Aga and found Hammer on the Pyramid. But such is rando, so that just happens.
Yeah. Pretty consolation. You did find the hammer before Kohrek found it. The Moon Pearl, though, did kind of hinder some of the things that just made things a little bit more efficient for him. And then, he obviously didn't have to do Aga Tower.
Yeah, that cost a little bit of time. I mean, that was probably my biggest mistake decision making, is leaving Ice Rod Cave for last.
Yeah, I mean, that could be a play that works out in other seeds, and some seeds it could just hurt you. Again, I personally didn't think it was a bad decision at all. It just didn't pay off for you this time.
Yeah, not a big deal. Obviously, the difference between the two of us, I think, mechanic and technical skill-wise, was big anyways, and it was going to be an uphill battle, so I had to take some risks.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's definitely a good game plan moving forward. How long have you been playing Randomizer for, or been doing the races and stuff?
This is my second race, which happens to be my second race today. My first race was bloody and brutal. But
Oh.
I've been playing off and on since early 20s for versions.
Okay. Hey, well, you did
But
fantastic relative. I mean, that's awesome, man.
Thanks. I feel relatively good about it, but obviously there's lots of room for improvement.
Yeah, especially your boss fights. You had really clean boss fights, and clutched a couple of them. Cold Stare and Trinex. You started with low health and clutched both those fights.
Yeah, I wasn't sure about Cold Stare. I was a little iffy, but I had potions if I needed to for magic at least. I know I had a green potion, so I wasn't too worried about using my fire rod. And finding bombos definitely helped, so I had magic to use before even thinking about the potion.
I think you were like one hit away if you would have taken a puff damage. So we were wondering if you were going to bust out that potion, but you just made it seem like you didn't need it and, YOLO'd it out. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I feel pretty good about that one. But it was trial by fire.
All right, well, fantastic. Yeah, again, this is a very long Swiss round, one of the longer ones that we've had in the tournament so far. So an early loss doesn't mean anything in this. There's still definitely a lot of rando to be played.
Oh, for sure. And I'm doing it because I like the game a lot and like the community, not because I expect to finish in the top echelon of everyone else here, like yourself or Kohrek.
Oh, I appreciate that. Kohrek definitely deserves that credit. I don't, but no, still GG regardless.
Thanks for doing commentary and the restream and tracking.
Oh, no problem, man. Thanks again for the giving us something to watch. It was definitely fun.
Yeah, definitely a good seat and race.
Yeah, thank you. Had a lot of fun.
Awesome. Yeah, definitely follow our runners, though. We had MrJohnnySpot on the left and Kohrek on the right. Crowzone was doing our tracking. They're the unsung heroes of these restreams right now because they keep us commentators honest, and it's not an easy job either. But yeah, definitely throw all of them a follow. But yeah, I guess we'll probably be heading out this evening. So thanks for commentating with me, Sir Link-a-Lot.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. It was a great fun. Hope to do it again soon.
Awesome, man. We got more races on today, too. There is a ton, actually. I had the schedule pulled up. I mean, right now, I think on Speed Gaming 5, we've got one going on. There's also one on Speed Gaming 4. And then on Speed Gaming, it's going to hit back up at 11 midnight. You got Speed Gaming 2. Parisian player. He's the blindfolded wizard there. And then, if you're not done at 1 o'clock in the morning, you can check out Speed Gaming 3. And then you might as well pull an all-nighter and just hit up the one at 10 a.m. on Speed Gaming. So, yeah, anybody cancel your plans. Keep watching more Randomizer.
There also, it looks like, because I can see in the Discord as well as on the schedule, I just refreshed it. It looks like they're going to be streaming one. It's going to be starting in the 5 minutes. Jagar versus Vinyl Knight. I don't know what channel it's going to be on yet, but that one looks to be starting up in 5 minutes or so.
Fantastic.
So yeah, plenty of rando to watch tonight and early in the morning.
All right, well, that being said, I'll just go ahead and say my my goodbyes as these credits run down. But yeah, it was a pleasure, guys. Y'all have a good one.
Thanks, everyone. Have a good night.
Yep, have a good night, everybody.